Now, a new analysis shows that the 6-ton iconic altar stone at the heart of Stonehenge.
Stonehenge, the iconic structure that has baffled historians for millennia, may have just revealed its darkest secret. A recent discovery has shaken the very foundations of what we thought we knew. What was Stonehenge really built for? And why is the shocking truth far worse than we could have ever imagined? Join us as we expose the terrifying reality hidden beneath these ancient stones. Stonehenge has long been one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world. Located in the serene English countryside, this massive stone circle has puzzled archaeologists, historians, and visitors alike for centuries. Built with stones that weigh between 50 and 70 tons each, its scale alone seems impossible for the people of that time, especially when you consider the fact that these stones were transported from over 125 miles away. No modern machines, no cranes, no tools we use today. Just human hands, ropes, and wooden sledges. The mystery grows deeper when we examine the stones themselves. Some, called blue stones, are believed to have come from the distant Preseli Hills in Wales, an extraordinary distance for people to have carried them, considering the primitive transportation methods of the time. Why were such heavy stones transported across such a vast expanse? How did they even manage to move them without the help of modern technology? Many theories have emerged over the years. Some believe Stonehenge served as a burial site. Others speculate it was a site for religious ceremonies. In more recent years, some experts have even suggested it might have been used as a kind of ancient calendar, tracking the solar year and helping early farmers schedule planting seasons. But here's the thing. No theory has fully explained the true significance of Stonehenge. And that's where this new discovery comes in. What we thought we knew about this ancient site is about to be turned upside down. The truth, it seems, is far darker and more complex than anyone could have ever imagined. What if Stonehenge was hiding something even more sinister all along? For centuries, experts have debated what Stonehenge was really built for. Over time, several theories have emerged, each attempting to shed light on this colossal structure. One of the most popular beliefs is that Stonehenge was a burial site. Some researchers point to cremated remains found near the site, suggesting that it might have been used for funerary rituals, possibly for elite figures of the time. But this theory doesn't explain why the structure is so large, or why it's so precisely aligned with the movements of the sun and the stars. Another theory suggests that Stonehenge was used for religious ceremonies, a place where ancient people could come together to perform sacred rites. It was thought to be a site of worship, perhaps dedicated to gods or spirits of nature, aligning with other ancient sites like Egypt's pyramids or the temples of Greece. But in more recent years, however, scholars have proposed an even more fascinating theory. Stonehenge was a solar calendar, a way for people to track the movements of the sun throughout the year. A professor from Bournemouth University suggested that the 30 massive stones forming the main circle represented days of the month, with the 5 central stones, the trilithons, symbolizing 5 additional days, bringing the total to 365. This would align closely with the solar year, helping ancient farmers mark the changing seasons for planting and harvesting. Each of these theories offers a glimpse into what Stonehenge may have been, but none of them fully explain why this site required such immense effort and organization. Why did ancient people go through so much trouble to construct this monument? Was it just about timekeeping, religion, or something much darker? The new discovery, it seems, offers a much darker truth, one that might change everything we thought we knew about Stonehenge's true purpose. In 2025, a breakthrough discovery shocked the archaeological world, leaving scientists and historians scrambling to reassess everything they thought they knew about Stonehenge. For years, researchers had suspected that the monument's purpose was tied to the sun's movements, but no one could quite explain how the ancient builders had achieved such precision with primitive tools. Then, a series of groundbreaking excavations began to unearth new evidence hidden deep beneath the stones themselves. The discovery was initially thought to be another typical archaeological find, but as experts dug deeper, they uncovered something far more significant than anyone could have ever expected. In the soil beneath the stones, researchers found remnants of tools and artifacts that suggested the builders may have had a more ritualistic and dark purpose in mind, far beyond a simple religious temple or agricultural calendar. It wasn't just the physical evidence that had experts in disbelief. The findings were coupled with surprising new analysis of the stones themselves, which revealed something chilling. The very arrangement of the stones, their placement and alignment, appeared to be tied to celestial events, but with an ominous twist. A detailed analysis of the soil and surrounding landscape suggested that the stones were not merely a ceremonial site, but were used in a ritualistic way, possibly even for sacrifice. The evidence hinted that ancient people might have used Stonehenge to perform dark, life-altering rituals. What was Stonehenge truly built for? Was it a mere solar calendar, or was it part of something far more sinister, a ritualistic practice that involved human sacrifice or other acts of great personal cost? As researchers continue to study the findings, one thing is certain: this discovery has raised more questions than answers. If the purpose of Stonehenge was so dark and disturbing, what else could be hidden beneath the ancient stones? As the dust settles from the recent discovery, a terrifying new theory is beginning to take shape. The artifacts found beneath the stones, combined with the alignment of the monument itself, suggest that Stonehenge wasn't just an astronomical calendar or a ceremonial site. The evidence is beginning to point towards something much more unsettling. Stonehenge may have been a center for human sacrifice. When the researchers examined the soil around the site, they found remains of animal bones, an expected discovery, as animals were often part of ancient rituals. But what shocked scientists was the discovery of human remains buried near the altar stone. These bones, burnt and carefully arranged, seemed to suggest that Stonehenge wasn't just about honoring the dead or worshiping deities. The location and positioning of these remains imply that ancient rituals may have included human sacrifice, possibly as part of an offering to the gods or to mark significant celestial events. This raises a disturbing question. Could the great effort and sacrifice that went into building Stonehenge have been mirrored in the sacrifices made by its builders? The stones, so carefully transported from distant lands, were arranged with a level of precision that suggests the monument's creators believed in a higher, darker purpose. The sheer scale of the project, the grueling effort to move hundreds of tons of stone, and now the possibility of human sacrifice, all of it points to a society deeply immersed in ritualistic practices beyond our comprehension. What makes this discovery even chilling is the idea that Stonehenge was not simply a tool for tracking time, but a monument to death itself. It may have been a place where people were not only expected to perform rituals, but to offer up their lives in exchange for a greater purpose. Could it be that Stonehenge was built to celebrate life and death in ways we can't even begin to understand? To truly understand the magnitude of this discovery, we need to delve into the science behind it.
For years, Stonehenge was a puzzle that no amount of archaeological work seemed to fully solve. That is, until recent groundbreaking analysis changed everything. Researchers from several leading institutions, using advanced techniques, began to examine the stones and the surrounding environment with a level of detail previously unimaginable. The first major breakthrough came from an analysis of the altar stone, the large central stone at Stonehenge, once thought to have originated from South Wales. However, modern geochemical tests shattered this theory. The composition of the altar stone matched rocks found in northern Scotland, over 300 miles away. This discovery alone forced experts to reconsider the methods of transportation and the sheer scale of the effort involved in moving the stones. What made this even more remarkable was the use of soil isotope analysis. When scientists analyzed the surrounding soil, they found traces of tools and even the charred remnants of what appeared to be ancient ritual fires. These findings suggested that the construction of Stonehenge was not only an extraordinary feat of engineering, but likely tied to complex and deeply spiritual ceremonies. The combination of advanced scientific techniques and the evidence of human remains pointed toward the idea that this was not just a ceremonial site, but a ritualistic center where people were sacrificed for reasons we may never fully understand. The true horror of this discovery is that Stonehenge was not just a monument to the gods, it was a place of immense personal sacrifice, where life itself may have been offered to ensure the alignment of the cosmos. The painstakingly precise construction of the monument, coupled with the new evidence of sacrifices, shows that the builders were not just skilled laborers, they were devoted followers of a faith that demanded the ultimate price. Could this newly uncovered truth be the key to understanding what Stonehenge really was, and how far did these ancient practices go? One of the most unexpected revelations from recent research concerns the role of sound at Stonehenge. For centuries, Stonehenge was regarded as an eerie, quiet place, but the recent experiments have revealed something completely different. Sound was a crucial part of the monument's purpose. A team of researchers from the University of Salford, after constructing a small, precise replica of Stonehenge, began to test how sound would behave within the stone circle.
What they found was nothing short of remarkable. The stones, when struck or even touched, produced ringing tones similar to musical instruments. This was no coincidence. The researchers discovered that the stones were deliberately arranged to amplify sound within the circle. Voices and music, it turned out, were remarkably amplified inside the monument, while the outside world was completely muffled. This new discovery is key to understanding the potential role Stonehenge played in ancient ceremonies. Sound and music were likely an integral part of whatever rituals took place there, but not just any music. Ritualistic sounds that could have been used to commune with the gods or to invoke spiritual powers. This also suggests that the sound properties of the monument might have been directly tied to the dark rituals performed within it. What if Stonehenge wasn't just a calendar or temple? What if it was a sound chamber where rituals of life and death were performed to harness spiritual power? The idea that sacrifice and music could go hand in hand within the same space adds another layer of complexity to the mystery. Could it be that the sounds of Stonehenge are still hiding secrets we haven't yet uncovered? One of the most persistent questions surrounding Stonehenge has always been, how did the ancient builders move the massive stones? These stones, some weighing up to 70 tons, were transported over incredible distances, with the blue stones originating from Wales, more than 125 miles away. Without modern machinery, this feat seems almost impossible. But as research continues, the mystery of Stonehenge's construction is becoming clearer and darker than we could have imagined. Recent excavations and studies using geophysical surveys have revealed the extent of the efforts involved in transporting these heavy stones. Archaeologists discovered evidence of wooden sledges and ropes that the ancient builders may have used to drag the stones across rough terrain. The effort required to move these massive blocks wasn't just a matter of logistics. It involved immense physical strength and painstaking planning. But here's where the discovery gets unsettling. A deeper look into the human cost of this construction is starting to emerge. It seems likely that the builders of Stonehenge didn't just work as a community. They may have been subjected to grueling conditions, possibly even forced labor. The bones of workers found in surrounding burial sites show signs of strenuous physical strain. Chronic injuries, broken bones, and even signs of violence suggest that some of the laborers may not have volunteered for the monumental task. Were these builders simply performing a communal duty, or were they sacrificed in the name of this monumental creation? The discovery of human remains, particularly those from younger individuals, points to the possibility that the construction of Stonehenge involved sacrificial acts to appease the gods or ensure the success of the project. The story of Stonehenge's construction may not be one of mere cooperation, but one of immense human suffering and sacrifice. With every new discovery, the theory of what Stonehenge truly was and why it was built continues to shift. The findings of recent excavations, combined with cutting-edge scientific analysis, have led researchers to propose a new, more chilling hypothesis. Stonehenge was built not only as a solar calendar or ceremonial space, but as a monument to dark, sacrificial rites. The alignment of the stones with the sun's movements and celestial events, coupled with the disturbing discoveries of human remains near the altar stone, strongly suggests that the ancient builders of Stonehenge were not just tracking time, they were preparing for and engaging in rituals that may have involved the sacrifice of human life. This is far more than a simple temple or observatory. Stonehenge appears to have been a place where the boundaries between life and death were blurred in the most extreme and troubling way. But why would the builders go to such great lengths to construct a monument that required so much labor, so many resources, and such deep commitment? The answer may lie in the belief system of the people who built it. Evidence suggests they believed that in order to align the world with the cosmos, certain cosmic events had to be marked by rituals of great sacrifice. The stones, carefully arranged, serve not only as a physical representation of time and the sun's movements, but spiritual instruments for a terrifyingly precise purpose: to offer up human lives in exchange for favor, power, or protection from the gods. This theory, though unsettling, fits the growing body of evidence. And what's even more shocking is that Stonehenge may not have been alone in this. Other ancient monuments across the globe, including those in Egypt and South America, share similar features, suggesting that these ritualistic sacrifices were more widespread than we've been led to believe. Could it be that these ancient people saw death as the ultimate currency to control the universe's workings? And could this darker purpose of Stonehenge have been hidden for all these years?
As we step back and consider the staggering discoveries surrounding Stonehenge, one thing becomes undeniable. The true purpose of this ancient monument was far more complex and far darker than anyone could have imagined. What began as a structure to track time, or perhaps to honor the gods, now appears to be a monument to sacrifice, built through sheer human effort and suffering. The findings suggest that the ancient builders of Stonehenge didn't simply build a marvel of engineering. They may have done so at a terrible cost, both physically and spiritually. The stone circle, carefully constructed to align with celestial events, seems less like an ancient calendar and more like a site where people offered up their lives to appease cosmic forces they believed controlled their fate. Was it a means to secure a harvest, to win a war,
or to ensure their survival against unseen threats. The more we uncover, the more we realize that Stonehenge wasn't just a solitary project. It was part of a larger, terrifying tradition that spanned across ancient cultures. And even now, deep beneath the stones, the site may still hold more secrets, more rituals hidden from the world. What else might be buried beneath Stonehenge? Could there be undiscovered remains of the builders, or artifacts that could reveal the true nature of the rituals performed there? And how much more will we have to uncover before we finally grasp the full truth? The mystery of Stonehenge is far from over. As scientists continue their research and new discoveries emerge, one thing is certain: the story of Stonehenge has only just begun.